autumn is on its way. So I had the whole day classes and then I worked, and in the morning I drove 3 hours. I'm exhausted, but now I'm gonna eat something and then I'm gonna go back to the library and study, I think till midnight. It's 6 now. I think by 7 I'll be done with food, with eating, and then back to the library. I gotta study some René Descartes. So that's for today. I had an art history class, modern time. That's how the subject is called. The modern time of art history, which is not modern at all, of course. It's not contemporary art or something. It's just like the modern era. It's not antique or medieval or whatever. So yeah, I'm super excited, but also exhausted. Also tomorrow I'm on a work trip, so I'll have to drive another 2 hours to get there and then sleep there and come back. Then Friday, so today's Tuesday, so Wednesday, Thursday I'm gonna be on this trip, and then Friday I'm coming back. Gotta go into the office on, oh my gosh, I hope on one point this stops, but well, yeah, and then I'm gonna be studying the whole weekend. Want to get some stuff done, but for today I'm done, and I'm pretty excited about getting into René Descartes. I'm definitely going to talk about him a little bit more. I'm studying his 6 meditations currently, and I'm gonna give you later on like a brief overview about René Descartes' theory. And just step by step becoming a modern time contemporary philosopher. So I dressed. I have like by now, it's not interesting actually, like talking about clothes, but if you see me in the same clothes, it's because I consequently get rid of all my stuff and of all these like unnecessary clothes. I have like a capsule that I always wear, so there's no need for all this clothes. So if you wanna buy my clothes, I'll leave the link below. It's on Vinted. But no, I'm not gonna do that actually. I'm not gonna do that. enjoying the clothes I'm having and I'm loving and I'm wearing every day. And by having all these other clothes, it's not a bad thing. It's just like I feel like I have to wear all these other clothes because I own it. And I feel like other people would enjoy my clothes a lot more and not feel the necessity like I do, because I feel the necessity to wear those 20 pieces I have or whatever. So yeah, they need a new owner. And I talked a lot more than I wanted about clothing. Let's go eat. The air, so crispy. Yeah, I love it. I just love autumn, fall. So beautiful. Love it.
jest pricey. Wysofaj, to jest po prostu najadamże.
So I arrived at my next hotel for work. So I drove 1.5 hours to come here. That describes my situation pretty good. Yeah, this describes my situation pretty good. Arrived at a dumpster. So I had this amazing conversation with a woman I met at the university campus. There's a botanical garden, and I sat down there, and she was sitting next to me, or she sat down next to me. And yeah, she was telling me about the DDR, like east of Berlin back in the days, and she was talking about so many things, like that in the DDR they didn't have bananas, and people from the west of Berlin would send them packages for Christmas with bananas, and they've never seen like green bananas, and people would send them green bananas, but by the time they arrived, they were brown. So this experiment failed, but they were so happy to receive like packages like that, also coffee and cocoa. And yeah, it was pretty interesting to hear it from like time witness. And then she talked about some scientists that lived in Marburg, and we talked about Marie Curie and all like super random stuff. And then she also said that she read an article dedicated to sounds that surround us, and if we become aware of them, we could like imagine ourselves in some time before our time and try to imagine what kind of sounds would exist, yeah, during that time, and what that does with us, and which sounds are pretty timeless and which ones are yeah, just dedicated to our time. And yeah, I had really fun conversations. She was really smart, and saying that she's looking for a job. She lives in Marburg, but yeah, that she couldn't find a job. She would do anything, she said. Currently she's cleaning houses, and she's also fine with that. She said she's pretty appreciative of people, I don't know, handing her coffee when she works there, and these are the upsides of her job. But yeah, I was so humbled by her. yeah, really humbled by her. Um, and she said that in the DDR, she actually was like a social worker, or like she was working at nursing homes. And then she also told me the story about Marburg, that there was this clinic where women would give labor that were not married, and that the medical students were allowed to go in there and watch them giving birth and like practicing on them. And that a lot of women in this clinic died because there were no rules when it comes to hygiene, and also the doctors, the students were not that far educated, so a lot of things went wrong. And yeah, it was just like a really inspiring conversation I had with her that I wanted to share with you. I'm gonna go downstairs and have something to eat with my colleagues, and tomorrow we'll have like a meeting, and then I'm gonna go back, gonna drive 3 hours actually back again. I also had practical philosophy, so it's all about morals, and yeah, and we're studying Plato and the death of Socrates, and it's really, really exciting. Also going to talk about that, but I don't want this snippet to be too long. So when I'm back and I'm going to start studying for Descartes and Plato, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Yeah, so far so good. Gotta go eat. See you later. So just to let you know what I'm doing, I also have the book, The Six Meditations, on Kindle. I bought it on Kindle, and there's like an app for Mac, and you can basically let's say mark this. I don't know if you've worked with that. And then it shows up in your notes as highlighted, and you can add a note to that and basically write whatever translation or whatever. I did it a few times as you can see as example with French, or parhelion, like, you know, this phenomena of the sun, or like this halos, this two halos on the side of the sun is called like that. And I have a definition of that. That's contract in French, like things like that. The whole physics. Yeah, that's how I work with that. And the other thing that I work with is Notion. And I basically have all my class notes, reading notes, etc. here. Let's say reading notes I did for philosophy. And you can enter links and pictures and whatever. I feel like I made already I recorded that already, but I've forgotten. Yeah, whatever. So that's another thing I can suggest for taking notes, organizing, and structuring your studies. Hey ho. I wanted to clarify again, what is it about? In I Need the Cards, Meditation 1, basically, he gets rid of all his beliefs to do that, because otherwise it would be too much to like go through every little belief he has. He tries to tore down the base, and so he basically tears it down with saying, even the things I thought I'm trusting, like seeing something, like trusting my senses, because that's one thing he says he thought he can trust. But he says, okay, what if I see something from far away, think it's something else, and then coming closer, see it's not what I thought. So he deletes that out of his mind. What if I see something close, like my hands? It could still be that I'm dreaming, and I just see my hands in my dream. Even if I would pinch myself right now, I wouldn't know if I'm dreaming or not, because I could eventually also pinch myself in a dream. So everything that has to do with senses, he also deletes. And so the things left for him that he could possibly trust being real, and like certain, because it's about uncertainty and being certain, are, he says, I think colors and geometry. So he basically says, even if I would dream, I would not be able to imagine a different color than I already know in reality. And the other thing, like geometry or math, he says that he would be able to trust that because it's certain, because 1 and 1 equal 2, but 1 is just a symbolic number, an Arabic number for the number 1. It's not actually the number 1. So it's nothing you could see or hear or feel. But then he says that what if there is a deceiving demon, like, or something bigger, and it's not God, because God is good, he says. So what if it's a demon who tries to deceive me and makes me think that these things are actually certain and real? And that's where the first meditation ends. So he basically gets rid of all his beliefs, even geometry and colors, because he starts one sentence saying, oh, this is certain though, but wait a second, no, it's not because of that. So he says something, and in the next breath, he says, oh no, here is the proof that we can't be certain. Everything is possible, everything could be like denied or proved wrong. So at the end, even the things he might believe could be something that a demon, a bigger bad influence put on him, or like seated in his brain. So that's where the first meditation comes to an end, and then the second one starts. But we're going to talk about the second one on the next video. This, like, I recorded it before telling what I'm saying right now, or saying what I'm saying right now, but I forgot a bunch of stuff, so and I re-recorded it. Yeah, I hope this was interesting to you. I'm gonna sign off the vlog here, and I'm gonna see you next week at university.